So we have 4 new Kizer knives here, and we are going to start this one off with the Integral G10 Integral. This is the Kizer Brat, and it's an integral knife for under $100. It's $89. It's 90 bucks. So that's pretty cool. 154 cm stone washed drop point blade, beautiful swedge. And we'll come back to the handle here. We have basically like a milling pattern over the spine that goes back and forth that does offer a nice texture. And you know, because it's an integral the way it is very comfortable in the hand. No flex. There's no liners in it either. There's only 2 little square liners right here and right here, but from here down, it's all G10. So you can kind of see how they slid the little liners, those 2 little liners in there, and then they screwed it in right there, screwed it in right there, and then you have the pivot holding the blade and, you know, the whole mechanism together. So it's pretty cool how they did that. Now, I like also how they put the jimping all the way up the blade like that. So if you're gonna do the trigger pull over the flipper tab, you know, you have jimping right there, and it's functional jimping. I have already tested the lockup and everything. It is rock solid. I think they did a great job with it. Very comfortable flipper tab for the push button or light switch. This is a great flipper tab, great flipping action. And like I said, extremely comfortable in the hand. This is an awesome one. This is definitely a good one. The Kizer Brat for 89 bucks. We got a deep carry clip. The clip is slightly inset on one side and then not so much on the other side. I'm not sure exactly why. I'm guessing you can see like the hardware on the inside, you know, for the screws to go through. I'm not sure how they got that in there. Maybe they screwed it in from this side. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Anyways, regardless, it's got a deep carry clip, but it's not reversible. And yeah, all in all, super duper solid knife. I think it's pretty cool. And this is the first time I think I'm seeing, maybe not. No, I think Reich had one. I was gonna say the first time I seen an integral G10 knife, but I think Reich was the first company that I seen this from. But this is only the second one I've ever seen, so pretty cool. Now the next knife, and by the way, everything will be linked down in the description, guys. The next one is the Kizer Sheepdog in aluminum. So aluminum scales with a crossbar lock, or sorry, clutch lock. So you do have an adjustable crossbar lock. So if you want a little bit more detent, I'll tell you what, this one came perfect. The detent is solid on this. Man, they do such a good job with their crossbar locks. Very ergonomic. This is a full-size one, so this is not the mini, this is not the XL, this is the full-size one, which is my favorite size. And since it's a non-flipper, you can choke up to that edge. The purple is very bright, and you know, with the added thumb stud, it definitely makes it even more fidgety because you got the whole deployment for the reverse flick or the thumb flick, or you can reverse flick off of the thumb stud. So even though technically it has one form of deployment, it feels like 4, because you can even go down here and reverse flick off of the fuller. So it's very fidgety, very fidgety, and very ergonomic. We have a deep carry clip that is inset with flat screws and reversible. So this is a complete ambidextrous knife, so lefties, you are included with this one. Crossbar locks are very strong locking systems, and this one is very rock solid. Now, I do notice that they did put liners in this. I'm kind of surprised. I would have thought that these were solid aluminum scales, but they did mill out the inside and then put steel liners in there. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just surprised that they didn't just do solid aluminum, but I'm guessing they had to do it for, oh, you know what? They did have to do it for the clutch lock. So I get it, because the clutch lock is adjustable, and I can't see what setting it's on right now. I'm guessing it's on the strongest one, but I can't tell. But I know the next knife we're about to check out here in a second is not on the strongest one. So, you know, I don't know. I'd have to take it apart to find out on this one. But man, yeah, this is cool. I like this one. And if you guys don't know, I love the Sheepdog models. I have tons of them. I have pretty much every one. Anyways, and they have all different kinds, from different sizes, different versions, different locking systems, different handle materials, different blade steels. The next one is the new Drop Bear. We have 2 of them. And this is the new drop bear with the same blade steel, 154 cm, but now with MICARTA scale. So it does feel a bit different. Now, I will say this one came where the clutch lock is not on the strongest setting. This one, it feels like it's on the strongest setting. Yep, this one's on the strongest setting. This one's on the second one down. Usually they come on the strongest setting, and then if you want it stronger, you just take out the Omega spring and replace it, because they do come with extra Omega springs. But anyways, these are very ergonomic, great knives. One of my favorite knives from Kizer at the moment. I think Kizer is killing it with their crossbar lock, and the drop bear is, in my opinion, one of the best knives for around $110. So if you don't know, there is lots of different versions of the drop bear. This one's the same as this one, just with aluminum scales, which is probably my most recommended one. You also have a titanium one in LC200N steel. There's even a fat carbon fiber version with LMAX steel. Highly recommend this one if you're willing to spend the money. I think they did a good job with the LMAX, or at least I'm not mad at it. So far, mine's been pretty good. It's my only example, but you know, I obviously love the drop bear. I think the drop bear is an awesome, awesome knife, and possibly one of, or if not the best knife from Kizer at the moment. It did come out at the end of last year. Otherwise, it would have went into my favorite knives of 2023. This is obviously a new version that just came out, but you know, it's the size of this knife is not a big knife. It's not a small knife, but it's not a big knife. It's a compact knife. But what it does allow you is to get a real grip. I mean, you can squeeze this thing for the life of you, giving you maximum leverage, whether you're cutting forwards, backwards, or down into something. And because the handle is so, you know, compact, you can, you know, get a lot of pressure down in there. It's a fantastic size. I love how the jimping rides all the way up the spine of the blade, so you can, use it and it's effective. The drop point blade has a tip lower than the center of the pivot, so the utility cuts are going to be good. While it's not super duper pokey, it's nice and acute and it works. Then you have slight bit of belly, so if you did need to use the belly for skinning and things like that, you have it. And the edge is nice and thin behind the edge, so it does pass through materials really, really good. They're very, very smooth. We already talked about the action. I mean, I love what they did with the crossbar lock, or sorry, with the clutch lock, because what it did was it allowed a knife with a crossbar lock to have a good detent and be nice and fidgety, you know, with a detent, because a lot of companies that did crossbar locks, you know, that's where their crossbar lock kind of fumbled, is they were just kind of spongy when you open them. These ones are nice and clicky, give you a good amount of detent, perfect amount, and you know, the crossbar lock is easy to get to, very easy to close. You don't have to worry about putting your fingers in the way. So really quick, I want to go over just a couple negatives really quick. So one thing with the Brat, I honestly have no negatives for the knife. The knife is great, super solid. I'm actually liking it quite a bit. But it did come with G10 dust all on the inside. Back in the crevice, you know, back in here on the inside, there was tons of dust in there from the G10 being machined. Now, it just looked like it hadn't been blown out good enough, and it was easy for me to clean out. Let me be clear, I just blew it out. It was nothing. But, you know, I could see it on the blade and stuff like that, and, you know, I don't know if it'll be all of them or just mine. Mine might have been rushed to me because it did come from the factory, but nevertheless, it did have a bunch of G10 dust on the inside that I had to clean out. I didn't take it apart or nothing, I just blew it out, but still though. Anyways, the next thing, as far as the drop bears go, you guys already know I love the drop bear. I really don't have any complaints on the drop bear. I love the drop bear, but this one came with the Omega springs on one lower than the strongest setting. If you don't know about the clutch lock, it has, you know, a setting where you can set the Omega springs to a different strength. So I wish it was on the strongest setting. Now the next thing is, one of these came without the extra Omega springs. Now Not that big of a deal for me because I have tons of Omega springs, but for somebody buying their first one, you wouldn't want that to happen to you. Now the other one did have it, which it's supposed to have, so I'm guessing it was just a mistake. And again, they did send it to me. It could have been just them trying to rush it to get it to me. But other than that, you know, that's it. You know, one of the knives didn't come with the extra set of Omega springs, which, you know, I wish did. As far as the Sheepdog goes, the only negative I really have, and it's not even a negative, but the sharpening tool and plunge grind could be a little bit bigger. You can see this, the taper starts with the plunge grind right here, and it ends right here, meaning you have from here to sharpen off. You can sharpen off all that before you hit the plunge grind. So you do have still a couple good sharpenings in it, so that's cool. I wish it was bigger though. I always appreciate more life with sharpening. Other than that, everything else is rock solid on this. No play any direction. The action's really good. You know, everything feels super solid. It's perfectly centered. But one last little nitpick, and this goes for all these knives, T6s. I wish they had T8s instead of T6s. Even the Drop Bear has the T6. Same thing with the Brat. So it is what it is. But anyways, work hard, stay tough. You know society's relying on you. Until next time, peace.